So it's been a while since I did one of these, other than jiu-jitsu technique, so I feel like I should. There's a few reasons why. So I wanted to talk about just making excuses for not whatever, doing jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, MMA, going lifting weights. I mean, anything, just going on the elliptical for 10 minutes, you know what I mean? So I kind of wanted to share what I kind of went through, and I get it because there's many days I slept in or missed training. But again, at that point, then my mind starts to go crazy, and I'm very regimented, and that's from the Marine Corps. But it's also about dedication and hard work. But real quick, or not real quick, it depends. So I'm on this website, Facebook group, Veteran to Veteran. I believe that's what it's called. And it's just a bunch of veterans asking questions and just talking. And I just finally went on it, and I was just looking through some posts right now. And there's a lot of talk about suicide. There's a lot of talk about, I'm getting out, what do? I don't know how to talk to somebody. Do I talk to somebody? I just read one about a mother that's terrified for her son, having PTSD, suicidal, you know, all of this stuff. And then there's a lot of positive stuff on there, you know, it's mostly, you know, showing your awards, or I just got out, 20 years retired. I read some of those. But the thing is, then you have people looking for how to get benefits and VA benefits, which I know everything about. I just want to say I fought that for about 10 years, and I'm 100% disabled. It took a long damn time, and that's just how it is. And I started the process before I even got out of the Marine Corps. After my second deployment in Iraq, I knew my mind wasn't where it was before, so I went right away. I don't know if anyone gave me advice, but I've seen a lot of people in the military not do it, and now it's kicking them in the ass. So I have a lot of info on that. If anybody wants to get at me, talk about it, I could help you guys out. So with that being said, it kind of goes for one, if you want to talk to somebody when you get out of the military, you definitely have to talk to somebody. There's no shame in that. I mean, I felt shame too. I did. I remember a staff sergeant frowned upon me going to therapy or seeing a therapist. And he just made me feel like I was a wuss type thing. And at that time I was a corporal, almost getting sergeant. And it was a few months after my second deployment where I already got, you know, whatever, blown up. We don't need to talk about all that again as it's on my videos. But so yeah, people advise you not to do it, and those are just bad people. Those are people that are unhappy. Those are people that don't want to improve their life. You have to see somebody if you need to. Sometimes it's good to get it out with a trained professional. In my opinion, I've had many therapists, and most of them sucked. They were horrible. I've had one fall asleep on me, for God's sakes. Now I'm at a veteran facility that's not paid for by the VA, so these guys actually, you know, care. And I like the guy that I see. And then I see an outside psychiatrist, because I really I don't like going to the VA, as you guys all know. But I wanted to kind of bring this up because of the Facebook group I was just looking at. Also about the suicide or the giving up. I was looking at a lot of giving up hopes. And man, when I was reading those, it was like, wow, that's me. That's me. That was me. That was me. That was me. You know, all this stuff. And everybody knows I still battle my demons. I have a post about it. Everybody's going to battle their demons. It's you though having better days, sunny days, and having less rainy days, I guess, or you know, vice versa. I feel like that's huge, and what you need is an outlet. You need an outlet. Jiu-jitsu, is my outlet. Jiu-jitsu has been my outlet for the past 13 years. I was doing jiu-jitsu right after my second deployment. I started in Iraq with about a month left of deployment. So that's huge. You have to do something. I don't care. You could get into fitness overall. You could, you know, draw. I don't care what it is. But with that being said, at the same time, lifting for me just wasn't enough. I couldn't lift. I had to hit stuff. I have to be able to use my mind to something else as complex as jiu-jitsu. As when you're grappling with somebody, your mind is not concentrating on the bullshit you got to deal with later on, or just stressing about the stupidest stuff possible, but in your mind it's not stupid. I completely understand that. Just to give a background, and this goes to excuses for training and not bettering yourself, and letting your job consume you is the worst thing you could do. That's how I feel, that's my opinion. If you let your job consume you, you're gonna end up losing that battle. Are you gonna be tired? Are you gonna be more tired if you go train? Or yes, you are. You're gonna be more tired. But are you gonna feel better in the long run, and then it's gonna be worth it? So you all gotta put that stuff on the table. And where I was after the Marines, it was rough. I got in, I worked for Comcast right away. Horrible job for 8 years. Battling PTSD that I didn't know I had, I refused to believe it. And again, I was seeing a lot of stuff about school, so I'll just say this. I barely got out of high school. I think I graduated with like a half credit to spare. I just couldn't stand it. I couldn't pay attention. And then after Iraq, like 3 years ago, I finished my bachelor degree in business management, which helps me in marketing. So, anyway, I had a 3.7 GPA, which is absolutely ridiculous. As like I said, I didn't, but I had to care. So with that being said, I want to get through this for excuses and for this, hopefully this Facebook group, somebody could, this is why I made this channel, for the veterans. Jiu-jitsu's secondary for this. So when I was in school, I was taking 5-week courses, so that was accelerated. I wanted to get my degree over with, done. I wanted to have it on my resume, and I knew Comcast wasn't going to be the job for me. As like I said, it was absolutely terrible. The job was okay itself, you know, helping people, but dealing with people at a daily basis, working 4 12-hour days was awful, you know. But with that being said, that's after those days, I still came home and trained. After those days, if my jiu-jitsu school was closed, I went to Export. I remember I lived right by an Export, and I would do sprints and I would lift, and I don't care what, I didn't give a damn what time it was. I had to. And at that time, I was fighting. I was doing MMA. I remember this clear as day. I was getting a divorce. I was out of my house. I was living in basements. I had no idea what the hell to do. I was so lost, and talk about demons. Now, this was about 2 years into my bachelor's, and I had maybe 6 classes to go. And at this point, I'm like, wow, I'm just gonna waste all of this time. And I still had to work, and I was dealing with having a breakdown at the job just because of upper management. Just, you know, I felt like I was getting treated like it was in the military again, but worse, so, micromanaging. So all that stuff doesn't work. I can't work for somebody anymore, and that was the boiling point. Especially when I know I should have been above that person. It's ridiculous. But so I was training constantly with that, barely knowing where the hell I was gonna be at, and I was in school online, and I was taking 3 5-week courses during this time, which they said not to do because if you fail a class, your GI Bill doesn't cover you anymore. So I remember I got my lowest grade in one class. It was a C, but then I had 2 A's in the other one. And then I just remember writing 6 papers a week on a laptop on Sunday. Everything was due Sunday other than discussion boards were Wednesday. But before I did all that, guess what? I had to go train jiu-jitsu. I had to go to Christian Uflackers to train, because on my days off, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, that's my church. I was not gonna miss a day. I didn't want to miss a day. I had a fight once and I slept for 2 hours, and the next day I went in for jiu-jitsu. Why? I was adrenaline high, but also for my head to kind of, you know, consume my mind and not to have me get taken over again. So when your job consumes you and you don't do anything about it, I feel like that's an issue. It's like I'm trying to hit on two topics here, but I'm trying to put them together. So I graduated, like I said, with a 3.7. You know, I battled my way somehow to get where I'm at today, owning an academy. And I didn't, at that 5 years ago, 4 years ago, there's no way I would think I'd be in front of this camera right now. But the thing is, what always would save me and kind of bring me back to this world was my need to be good at jiu-jitsu and MMA, and just have that family bond, because I didn't have the Marine Corps bond anymore, because I wasn't in the Marines anymore. I needed some sort of bond when we're all bleeding, we're all sweating, we're all working hard. It's all about hard work. That's how I am. I'm strict with that stuff. I didn't care what time I got home. If jiu-jitsu was closed, it was closed, but I went and I had to do what I had to do. It's just how it was. If I slept 4 hours and had to do it all over again, I would. And I think that's what a lot of us have to do, especially veterans, because it's either that or what are you gonna do? Sit at home, watch TV, let your mind go crazy? Shit's gonna happen. You're gonna have some bad days. You're gonna have bad days, and you're gonna think it's hopeless. All right, if you think it's hopeless, well, guess what? It's not. You just have to get through that day. It might be crappy weeks, it might be crappy months. I get it. We all have health issues. But you have to be thankful for every damn day that you're on here, you know, because after seeing deaths very close, it was scary. It's like, you don't know what the hell's gonna happen after that. So that was really crazy about that. That's why I really believe in hard work, and hard work got me to where I am. Do I get lazy? Hell yeah, I get lazy. I didn't want to, you know, man. But I kept going forward. There's a few instances that I don't know. I haven't really told anybody about it, and I'm not gonna say it now. But I'll just say at the Nogi Worlds, it was a really bad time. And I was at I would say my lowest point, and it was difficult to get through, but I am where I am today because of that. And you know, again, it's about the hard work you put in, not just physically, but mentally. And I'm not saying this is a success story, because I'm nowhere where I want to be successful. And again, I have my own demons, but I know I've come very far, and I made it through. The Nogi Worlds was, what was it, about 3 years ago. It was my first one at black belt. So I took that loss very hard, but then it led to other stuff that was going on, and it was a very bad time. And then you mix that with alcohol, and that's a bad time. So there are many days you don't think you're gonna be there, but then you have to look. Then I kept looking about my desire to be good at jiu-jitsu, what my goal was to be an instructor one day, and now that it actually came through, it's kind of crazy. But you know, like I said, I made this channel for veterans, and in fact, that's the main thing. But so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And again, no excuses. Just work hard. Don't let your job consume you, and train.